Newell by Anderson of South Dakota.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. From fighting wildfires with air support, helping civilians in flooded neighborhoods, to delivering food and supplies to those who have lost everything, the Army National Guard always responds when disaster strikes. The Army National Guard also trains to be ever vigilant against threats, foreign and domestic. They protect our skies with missile defense weaponry. They secure our information, communications, and infrastructure with cybersecurity. And they protect us against chemical, biological, and radiological hazards with the civilian support team. The Army National Guard also stands ready to deploy and provide support for conflicts or humanitarian missions abroad. Join the Army National Guard and be there to respond, protect, and support your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the South Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the South Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports!
And here's what you need to know.
Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady reportedly apologized to Kansas City Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu after last night's Super Bowl 55. Brady and Mathieu exchanging words during the game, and ESPN says that Brady reached out via text saying that he wanted to match Mathieu's intensity and called the safety a class act. As for Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, NFL Network saying that Mahomes is expected to decide by today if he will have toe surgery this offseason to take care of his turf toe injury that hampered him towards the end of this previous campaign. Looking ahead to next year, Chiefs are the favorite to win the Super Bowl, listed at 5-1 according to BetOnline. College football note: Iowa State has given head football coach Matt Campbell a contract extension through 2028. Anthony Davis out for the Lakers tonight against the Thunder. Wizards will be without Russell Westbrook against the Bulls. Miami, North Carolina game tonight in college hoops has been postponed. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Well, good Monday afternoon. A little chilly out there, huh? But it's always a great day in the Black Hills. Welcome in. Rapid City Sports Talk Show is back, ready to go from our downtown studio. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Thanks for listening there. Checking in on YouTube, wherever you are today. Good stuff live in studio camera. We're ready to go. I'm wearing my Broncos jacket in honor of the Chiefs from yesterday. I'm sorry. We're going to have a clean show today. We're going to have a clean show. Even as a Broncos fan, okay, I'm ready to go on a Monday. Fair and balanced coverage and some thought-provoking sports talk. The Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by the Rehab Doctors. Our partners at the Rehab Doctors, they're the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush and the pain relief experts in the Black Hills when it comes to pain relief without surgery. If you have an injury, see the Rehab Doctors. Take your first step to feeling better at therehabdoctors.com. A great team since 1997. Therehabdoctors.com. Let's look at the Monday show, the post-Super Bowl recap. We're going to talk a lot of Super Bowl, but get some real reaction on the ground, not just talk all 2 hours. We're going to get some insight, analysis. We're going to go to KC, flagship station of the Chiefs, 610 Sports in Kansas City. One of their top guys, Cody Tapp, he is on the way live from Kansas City. The reaction from Kansas City today. Also going to go all the way down to Florida. One of our favorites, Pat Donovan, covers the Buccaneers on the flagship for the Bucs. WDAE will go live to Tampa Bay, and the celebration going on for the Buccaneers. Pat Donovan on the way. So Buccaneers, Chiefs locally covered. Nationally, some analysis from one of the NFL top writers, New York's Newsday's Bob Glauber, NFL columnist, reacting to the Super Bowl. And then we've got our own big one tomorrow night. Back on the local front, high school basketball. We'll have the radio exclusive Rapid City Stevens girls at St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More girls with a big win over Winter on Friday. Just a massive win for the Cavalier girls. They stay undefeated, taking on Stevens tomorrow. We'll have the game for you tomorrow, but we'll have head coach of the Raider girls, Michael Brooks, on tonight. And then we'll dip into Major League Baseball just a touch tonight. An interesting report out from The Athletic about what baseball's planning to do to maybe change the game a little bit this year from a scientific standpoint. Oh, boy, this is going to be interesting. We'll talk to Dan Hayes, Major League Baseball writer for The Athletic. He's on the way. We have a question of the day. We're going to start with that. We're going to get it right into it here. First, we'll throw out the number. If you want to react, I want to hear where you're at. 720-1067 is the Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line Live. Join the program. 720-1067. The Barron's Wilson text line open and ready. We were getting text messages during the Super Bowl on the Barron's Wilson text line. I don't check that stuff, okay? We come in here in the office, and then we pull up the Barron's Wilson text line, and we're getting messages in from Chiefs fans. So that's good stuff, though. Text us today, 720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line, the listener text line for you. So we'll start with a couple of things here. First, I really thought the Chiefs were going to prove me wrong. I really thought the Chiefs were going to prove me wrong here on this day a year ago. Feels like forever ago. On this day a year ago, on this program, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City, I said, and I would say it was a bold statement. You know, I'm not too much of a hot take artist, but a bold statement. I said a year ago, the Chiefs just aren't going to go back-to-back. They aren't going to win back-to-back titles. I felt it was too tough. It's just so many things have to go right in the NFL. We haven't seen a back-to-back champion since the 90s, right? I mean, you're thinking about this here. It's a tough go. Even through the Patriots dynasty, they were up and down. They got there. They couldn't quite win it. They got back. They win it. We haven't seen back-to-back winners. It's just a struggle. So I said a year ago on this program, I'm not going Chiefs. As good as they looked, right? As good as Mahomes is, I didn't go Chiefs a year ago. I said, I don't know who's going to win it. I can't say the Chiefs are going back-to-back. I just don't think that's going to happen. We're not going to see that on a regular basis. I wasn't so sure the Chiefs' dynasty is ready to go, per se, of winning it. That's what it's all about. Not winning the AFC West, not winning the AFC Championship. Running it back is running it back to win the whole thing. I didn't think they could do it. I really thought going into yesterday, and I would have admitted it right here, I said last week, I think I'm going to be wrong. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I picked the Chiefs to win as much as I was rooting against them. As an AFC West Broncos fan, I can't be rolling with the Chiefs. I really thought they were going to prove me wrong. I really thought I'm coming in today to say this might be a run here that's going to be really tough to stop. Yet as you watched the game yesterday, what were you thinking? What were you thinking seeing no touchdowns? 9 points? The struggle offensively that they were having? The defensive front four? You saw the game. You hear the analysis now all day, so I don't have to break down all the X's and O's. I just all of a sudden stopped and I thought, if the Buccaneers can slow them down like this and other teams might be able to get a blueprint here, I don't think this is going to be a long Chiefs year after year run. Mahomes is going to keep you in that mix. Now, don't get too crazy. Mahomes is going to keep you in that mix. But all of a sudden, when you don't have a great offensive line, you're getting pressured so much, things look a little bit different. When you don't, I mean, Mahomes is surrounded by all pros. He's an unbelievable talent himself. And that's why I always say the all pros around him on the O-line, at tight end, at wide receiver, that makes you really, really good. Really, really good. But when you've got problems on the O-line, just at Kirk Cousins, just ask Kirk. Ask our friend Kirk Cousins. You don't quite look as good as you should in some games. I was blown away. I was just absolutely stunned. I thought the Chiefs were going, and here it is. We've witnessed an unbelievable run. Tom Brady, an unbelievable run. You should be grateful for it. I'm not a big Brady fan. I haven't liked the Patriots, right? We should be grateful for it. I think that's Tom Brady's last title, number 7. Unbelievable. I didn't think it would happen. What were you thinking as you watched it unfold yesterday? I'm starting to wonder now, where do the Chiefs go from here? Back in the mix? They'll be in the mix. I don't see multiple-year titles, multiple-year, back-to-back stuff. I don't see it. It's too hard. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Nate, how would you embarrass a Tom Brady with a Kirk Cousins mention?
Hey, no, I said when the O-line isn't blocking like they didn't block for Mahomes, it looks a little different.
Well, let's be honest, and I've told you this before, I think Tom Brady is probably the best quarterback ever. I've said that on your show.
Yep, and I agree with you now. No question. I was wondering for a while. I agree with you. He's got it.
Okay, but let's give credit where credit is due. Let's give credit to Tom Brady and Gronk. Let's give credit to his offensive line. Let's give credit to the defense. And let's not forget the special teams. They wore the stripes.
I don't know about that one.
See, I didn't watch the game because I'm true to my word. I did follow on my phone, and we all know why. But I'm seeing posts from all over the country. It was the same thing with the Green Bay Packers. Same thing with Peyton Manning when he played for Denver Broncos. Remember that, Nate?
I do. I do remember those years.
Yeah, when Peyton Manning got all them calls, all them years. It was 2 years, wasn't it?
I can't go there, Steve. I can't go there because 31-9, that's the story. End of story.
Well,
there was a couple of calls here and there, some PI, maybe a little questionable. I can't go there, though. I was stunned the Chiefs got handled. I was just stunned.
What did I say in the beginning of the year after he signed that big old contract, Mahomes? And then he's on TV on every other commercial. You signed a $500 million contract. You know, you can wait on the commercials.
Okay.
Concentrate on winning the game.
I have a question for you.
Sir.
How many titles does Mahomes win? That's my question of the day, and I really like to know where you sit. How many, if you had an over-under?
3 or 4.
Really?
I would do 3 and possibly 4. And I'll tell you why. We're not going nowhere for a few years. All right, we were 16-2 because we suck.
Denver, so you're going to be in the mix the next couple of years, no doubt. I don't know if you can win it. I don't know if you can win it.
I don't know, but look at Fran Tarkenton. I mean, he went to 4 Super Bowls, wasn't it? Didn't win a 1.
Right.
But he still went. But here's my deal. You look at how many games the Vikings win and how many games the Broncos win. Well, still less than what the Chiefs won.
Hey, some things can change. Some things can change.
And Coach Joe from St. Thomas More, don't take this personal, but Denver's a few years away, bud.
All right, man.
So, honestly, who do you got for a quarterback?
Well, nobody right now. You know that. I'm not on board right now.
I know.
Things can change. Things can change. We didn't see Mahomes coming either. We didn't see this coming either.
I'm still high on the Raiders.
I'm not. So you say 3.
You say Bronco fan.
3 or 4. 3 or 4
I said
for Mahomes.
3 or 4 in the next 6-7 years. I see it
because
it is hard to compete. Because there's only one Tom Brady.
Really
There's
difficult.
only one Tom Brady. 10 Super Bowls, you can't touch. Even though the rules have changed to protect that quarterback, not like Terry Bradshaw that got beat up every game.
Yeah, or Montana even, yeah.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, he got spanked, but he wins. So I'm saying Mahomes, if he quits with the TV commercials and get rid of some of the gold chains and concentrate on football, what we're paying you for, it's kind of like the Raider wrestling team. We don't have no pretty boys. We don't wear suits. We don't wear. We got cowboys and blue-collar working families. And what do? We win.
All right, brother. Good to hear from you. Appreciate
Yep.
it, man. I know a
3
tough
more weeks, I'll be a regular.
All right. I appreciate that. By the way, it's tough to take one like yesterday with the Chiefs, right? Chiefs fans, it's tough to take the deal yesterday. I was stunned about it. I was stunned. Now, I will say, this could just be me as a Broncos fan, and I'm trying to look here. I'm not a Brady lover, not a Chiefs fan, so I'm looking at the game. Okay, who's in good shape here before the game? It did feel like the Chiefs were, I don't know, kind of thinking, we're good, right? I mean, nobody's been able to stop us. We turn it on, and when we turn it on, we are on effort. We're talking about some former Huskers in there, Levante David, Devin White, the linebackers, unbelievable coverage from the Buccaneers. The defense was unbelievable. It just felt like they weren't saying much. They just kind of got after it. That's what I guess I respect about Tom Brady is he doesn't say much. He's just the nice guy, the utmost professional before the game. It's this, and then he's a killer. He's an absolute stone cold. You saw him talking a little bit, right? I guess he had to, or he did apologize to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, today. He's a killer. Once he gets in there, look out. You're just playing, you're getting after it. I felt like the Chiefs were kind of, I don't know what it was. I put the Chiefs in this spot today. The Chiefs remind me today of who? Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. And why do I say that? Russell Wilson, unbelievable talent. Unbelievable talent. Seahawks, yeah, they're coming along. Who's going to touch the Seahawks in the NFC West over there? Who's going to touch? San Francisco started coming up a little bit. Now it's going to be tough for Russell and the Seahawks to go back to Super Bowls all the time. Everybody was saying when Russell Wilson, he got to a couple of Super Bowls. He won one. Russell's going to keep on going to the Seahawks. Nobody's going to touch him in the NFC West, right? And now they feel like they're a ways away. It kind of reminds me of that. Mahomes is unreal. I don't know if the Chiefs are, it's not going to get easier, folks. It's going to get harder. So my question of the day, how many Super Bowls does Patrick Mahomes win? I just would like to know from you today, how many Super Bowls does Patrick Mahomes win in his career? Here's the number I throw. 2, 3, or 3+. So Steve gets in. He's a KC guy. He's kind of taking, well, I don't know how many. He says 3 or 4. How many Super Bowls does Mahomes win? It's a question of the day. I've got my answer. I said he kind of reminds me of the Seahawks right now, Russell Wilson. It's hard to do it. It's just hard to do it. We saw that yesterday. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and go 3.
Think so? 3?
Well, you know, once again, is not knowing their cap space for guys that are going to be coming up, and because like you look at the Seahawks and some of their defense that that was you can't sign and keep everybody, and not knowing all those things. And then the other X factor too is I pray nothing. I pray things work out for Andy Reid's son in what's going on, and that somehow doesn't. You don't know what kind of effect that could have on Andy Reid if that turns out a bad thing, and perhaps there's legal action.
It sounds like a bad thing. It does.
It does, and there's legal action against his son, and and there's been other bad family history or sad, tragic family history with Andy Reid, and is if he's going to keep doing it at that level, because if Andy Reid were to hang it up in a couple of years, that drastically changes that organization.
I just think it. I don't know where Andy Reid goes or how that goes. I just think it's going to get tougher now. Whether that's the salary cap here in 2 years, not next year, but a couple of years, it's just going to get tougher, not easier. Chargers are getting better right there in that division. The Seahawks, it kind of felt, hey, Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, they go to a couple. They're going to go on a roll, and they're there, but it's not. They're not winning titles, and Russell Wilson is top 3 QB.
Yeah, and it's like, and once again, you got to get there and win. Just look at John Kelly.
Jim Kelly. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jim Kelly. I was spacing it off here. I shouldn't be driving and talking, but the other quick thing I heard you say something about with the defense and Tom Brady. Just the fact of who he is on the field and he's talking it up with Tyrann Mathieu and stuff. Did you see the quote or the interview last week from Lavonte David saying that Tom Brady was like basically chewing out players after they won the division? He's like, we're trying.
I saw that after they beat the Packers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like we're not done yet here. So this is what our goal is. To bring that mentality, and he spoke to it last night after the game. Even is how and I take him as being sincere. Is that one of his biggest enjoyments from that last night was seeing some of those longtime Bucks win a Super Bowl, and he's sending out late night tweets or text messages to motivate guys, this, that, and the other. And this is a guy that's 10 Super Bowl. So, regardless of what you think of him, that's the reason he's in 10 and he's won 7.
He's a competitor, and he's a stone cold. He's a killer. He's a killer, no doubt. Appreciate it. Thanks for getting in. So it's interesting. Couple of things here. Bucks defense unreal. Lavonte David, Devin White, the linebackers unreal. Lavonte David, by the way, unrestricted free agent. Broncos maybe want to give him a call. He's 31, linebacker. He's 31, but we just need you to cover Kelsey a couple of times a year, like you did last night. So Lavonte David out of the Husker. A Husker, let's throw him into the Bronco linebacking core. That linebacking core needs a little more help in pass coverage. Devin White, really, really good. The front four were outstanding. Shaq Barrett, one of those contributors. Thanks a lot, John Elway, for sending Shaq Barrett down the road. We really appreciate that. Nonetheless, defense unreal, and the Chiefs' mentality. When things didn't go well, it got a little dicey. There was some bickering. There was some emotion. Mathieu on the sideline yelling with Spagnuolo. There was some stuff going on. The Chiefs didn't quite handle it. I will tell you, I don't know if the Chiefs are going to go on this big-time run. I just had somebody on Twitter tell me nobody's in better position over the next 15 years than the Chiefs of winning these titles. Over the next 15 years. I just got to tell you, let's hang on a second here. Great team, best QB. They got beat yesterday 31-9. Chiefs fans, don't make the same mistake that Broncos fans made. All of a sudden, we're getting a couple, and here it comes. You can fall quickly. I'm not telling you they're going to fall like the Broncos, but I'm telling you, it's not easy to just go on this run. You have the best QB. How did that work out for you yesterday? The O-line, little patchy. The QB looked mortal. There's a lot of things that have to go right. That's yesterday. That's in the future. Over the next 15 years, I don't know what's going to happen over the next 15 years. People are trying to tell me the Chiefs are the team over the next 15 years. Let's take it easy. How many titles does Mahomes win? That's my question to you today. 2, 3, or plus 3 plus. 2, 3, or 3 plus. The Las Vegas number last year had it at 2.5. Are you going to go over that? So that's where I use that number. Mahomes, is he going to win another one? Is he going to win a couple? Is he going to win numerous, even more? I'm not so sure after yesterday when you start looking at just a few pieces that fell out of place on the O-line, just a defensive scheme that had the right players, the right scheme. It was not good. Not good. The Bucs offense wasn't outstanding, folks. I mean, they were fine, managed the game. Brady had 200 yards passing. It wasn't a 500-yard day like he did against the Eagles. By the way, hard to win back-to-back. The Patriots did do it. Thanks for this note. It was 03-04. 03-04, Patriots won back-to-back. Otherwise, you look at it, they had a dynasty. The Patriots dynasty, they had an easy division, the AFC East. I mean, it was an easy. They won the AFC East 11 years in a row. The Chiefs aren't going to win the AFC West 11 years in a row. These are the types of things that you start pulling together when you start wondering, how good will the Chiefs be over this run? They'll be good. I don't see another Patriots dynasty coming. I don't see it. So I think that number for Mahomes is lower than you would think. That's what the NFL is today. That was the one he needed yesterday. Then you start looking at, okay, the number might be, okay, he's already got 2. I don't know how it's going to go. The last 2 Super Bowls for the Chiefs, they weren't great. They got some big plays at the end against the Niners. You remember last year, that was dicey too. Niners led most of the way. Interesting stuff today. We got a lot to get to. What's the reaction in Tampa Bay? What is the reaction in Tampa Bay? Pat Donovan, WDAE Tampa Bay, covers the Buccaneers, and he's going to give us some time next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door, plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219.
Wow. Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett with Elevate Performance. We want you to know that not all physical therapy is the same. So when you need care, choose a team that delivers the best results. At Elevate Performance, you will receive one-on-one care with a doctor of physical therapy. We won't shuffle you in and shuffle you out. We are currently seeing new patients from youth athletes to grandparents. At Elevate Performance, we help you live life to the fullest by fusing healthcare and fitness. Come and experience personalized care and physical therapy unlike any other at Elevate Performance, your movement doctor. Online at elevateperformancesd.com.
Not all trusts fit in a box. We do our best to put a personal touch on each one and really listen to our customers and make sure that we take care of them the very best that we can.
We are going to apply the best of our knowledge and ability and care to really analyze our situation and find all the best solutions that we possibly can.
We customize what we do to what you need. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live on Fox Sports Rapid City, the Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you on board. We're going to go down to Kansas City. Some reaction from the flagship station of the Chiefs with Cody Tapp, 610 Sports Radio, Kansas City on the way. Interesting reaction from KC. I was listening to those guys this morning. And then on the other side, I was listening to WDAE. That's Tampa Bay. And their reaction today, and I had to invite our guy in. We've had him on. He's been right along the way. He said, don't bet against Tom Brady. He said he used to do it. You can't do it anymore. Guess what? I did it again. I said, Chiefs are going to win this, okay? They're going to prove me wrong. I said the Chiefs weren't going to go back-to-back. I said that a year ago. And then by last week, I said, yeah, the Chiefs are going to win. And I was wrong again. Tom Brady wins. Pat Donovan, WDAE, Tampa Bay. He's on Twitter at Pat Donovan Radio. Joins us from the scene of the celebration. Pat, how are you tonight?
I am fantastic, as is all of Tampa Bay.
I believe that. Let me ask you here. The defensive story, to me, is the story. I know Brady is Brady. 7 titles. It's unbelievable. 10 Super Bowls, 7 titles. Historic. It really is. But the defensive ability, Devin White, Levante David, the front four, I didn't see it coming. Did you really see that coming? No TDs? Come on.
If anyone tells you they thought the Buccaneers would hold the Chiefs without a touchdown, I should say, they're liars. They are lying. They're very good liars. I spent the last 2 weeks on every single interview I did, or just about every single interview I did, saying you're going to have to score 34, 35, 38 points. And look, if they scored 31, they just didn't have to. They held the Chiefs to 9 points. You could have thrown just about any number at me, and I would have made a bet with you if you told me the Buccaneers would hold the Chiefs without a touchdown. I thought they were going to win that game. I never expected it would look the way it did.
No, it was crazy. I want to talk about if you think Tom Brady was the difference maker for the organization, or is there truth to this? Hey, we brought other guys in here, whether that's Leonard Fournette, whether that's Gronkowski, whether that's even Antonio Brown, or was Tom Brady the absolute difference maker? End of story.
He was. And listen, those other guys all played integral roles, especially last night, right? Like, Gronk has 2 touchdowns. Antonio Brown has a touchdown. Leonard Fournette looks amazing yet again in the playoffs last night. However, none of this happens without Tom Brady. He has changed this organization in under a year, and I think he's changed this organization forever. I think that he's changed the way people will look at this organization forever, the kind of destination it has become for free agents. I think everything has changed because of Tom Brady. So do they win just because of him? Of course not. When it comes to winning individual games and winning the Super Bowl, listen, they're not in the Super Bowl if not for the defense last week, right? Because he threw 3 interceptions on 3 consecutive drives. Very Jameis Winston-esque. But at the end of the day, this entire franchise, their belief system, right, the way that guys believe in each other and themselves, it's all because of Tom Brady and the way he's changed this organization. There's no question about it.
Pat Donovan, WDAE, they cover the Buccaneers. They have the best coverage. I'll tell you, the Buccaneers win the title. Tom Brady's 7th. Pat, let me ask you about Brady's mentality. I just opened the show. I said, he has this professional appearance, which he is. He's a pro. His brand is strong, and he wants to keep his brand very clean, crisp. And then when he's on the field, he's a killer. He's a killer. I mean, he was just stone cold. He was talking to Matthew. He even reportedly sent a text apology here. What do you see when you see Brady, the brand, and then Brady last night doing some of that?
Brady, the brand, is everything you just described, right? But on the field, within the game of being a competitor, he burns in a way that very few people do, even among great people, right? Like, there's a difference between people who are great at what they do and the rest of us, and then there's a difference between people like Tom Brady, I'd say, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods is like this, where they burn at a level where, like, they almost put some people off by the way that they're so intense and they're so different, and they just don't know anything except being great, and it's hard for them to fathom why other people aren't the same way that they are. And a perfect example is Levante David told this amazing story, I think it was this past week, where he just said, look, we were in the locker room after winning the NFC Championship game, and someone was crying. And Tom Brady looked at him and said, what the F are you crying about? What the F are you crying about? We've got more work to do. We're not done. And Levante, was very funny about it. He said, I kind of had a tear in my eye. I had to wipe my eye real quick. But that's Tom Brady, even in the midst of becoming an NFC champion, for the first time, mind you, not happy with that, right? Just always looking forward to what's next until he's got that Lombardi in his hand, and then I think he takes a deep breath for about 35 seconds.
I'll tell you, I've been a Broncos fan my whole life, so I've been battling Brady and battle him late in the playoffs and some championship games. So I haven't been a Brady fan just because I've been rooting against the Patriots and Brady. However, I look at it now, I say, everybody was talking, Mahomes is Jordan. Mahomes is Jordan. Well, come to find out, we just missed it. Brady is Jordan in more ways than just the titles, the way he competes, the edge. It's Brady who's Jordan. That's who it is.
And you almost wonder, is Jordan Brady? Could Jordan have done what Brady just did? How many athletes could, right? It's not just changing teams and winning a championship. It's changing teams at the quarterback position where, Nate, you know this, you've got to know everybody's job. You've got to know every single thing that's going on the offensive side of the football, and you have to know that offense inside and out. And to do it during this pandemic at a time where they couldn't have rookie camp, they couldn't have the OTAs, they couldn't have mini camps. Training camp was even, shorter and weird and different. There was nothing about this offseason that said to you, hey, yeah, a team with a new quarterback's going to win. I don't care who that new quarterback is, right? But anytime you've got a guy who's got to learn an entire system, all new teammates, and do it in this pandemic-shortened, weird year, at least is the way they train. It's unthinkable for anybody to do that, and I think for Tom Brady to do that at the age of 43, when you include the playoffs, finishes with 50 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, it's really quite astounding for Tom Brady, for anybody else.
It was
what he was able to accomplish this year. It really was, and I think it ends the conversation, right, about who's the greatest of all time. I think it ends it.
Yeah, I do believe that as well. Objectively, I really do. Pat Donovan, couple more quick ones. I'll let him go. He joins us from Tampa Bay. He's been doing a lot of radio. WDAE, a great team down there covering the Bucs, the Super Bowl champs. Did Tom Brady run this show offensively? I looked at it. He looked like he had a lot of say, Brady. Even towards the end of the game, they were sending in a play. He goes, no. We're going to do this. Brady, Leftwich, or Arians? Who ran the show?
I think the answer is yes, right? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is a little bit of everybody, and I think that's what works so well for this team is nobody had enough of an ego to say, it's got to be my way. Brady might, wave off a call at one point and say, no, this is what we're doing when he really believes in something. But it really was a team effort when it came to designing the game plan. And that's what I think we saw over the first 12 weeks of the year was Tom Brady figuring out the offense, Byron Leftwich figuring out Tom Brady, and then they took that bye week in week 13, and I think they all sat down, and I think they figured out what really works in this offense, what really works best for Brady, and they used that the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs, and we saw the results. And I just think to myself, what happens when these guys can actually sit in a room together, right? Because Bruce Arians talked about how, and not that they never were in a room together, right? But he didn't go in the locker room very often. He didn't do a lot of the things you would normally do as a head coach. When these guys actually have a regular offseason, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how scary they can be.
Okay, that's my last one for you, Pat, is there's some free agents here. Bruce Arians says, I think a lot of these guys are coming back. We know Brady's coming back, right? Do the guys come back? I think it's, we just saw the Chiefs couldn't repeat. I think it's an uphill climb now. Do most of these guys come back in the fold?
I think they do. What's good for the Buccaneers, and obviously everybody's cap is going down, but what's good for the Buccaneers is they're one of the very few teams in this league, and I can't remember his last name, but a young man, Jason, who does the Over the Cap website, right? They do a great job over there covering the salary cap. The Bucs are one of the few teams that were both good and in a pretty good spot when it comes to next year's salary cap. So I think you're going to see a lot of these guys come back. And on top of that, Nate, I think we're going to see more of those veteran free agents who are kind of getting towards the end that think, you know what, I want to win one. Let me go to Tampa Bay for less money and win one. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of the, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Shady McCoy, those kind of guys that come in because they want to play with Brady and they want to play with this Buccaneers team now. So I think not only do a lot of guys stay, I think they add, and that's a scary thing for the rest of the league.
Unbelievable story, really is. The Brady Super Bowl, but the defensive effort, we haven't seen that against Mahomes. We really haven't. Pat Donovan, WDAE, just running the midnight oil, burning the midnight oil. You guys did a solid job, Pat. I appreciate you coming on.
Anytime, my friend.
Appreciate it. WDAE 95.3, Pat Donovan Radio on Twitter, at Pat Donovan Radio. Good coverage of the Bucs. They've had a really good run. Tampa Bay, the Lightning, the Rays, the Buccaneers. How about that? Titletown, Tampa Bay. Pat Donovan on tonight. WDAE reaction from Tampa. He says the Bucs add. I don't know. It's tough. You get the feeling that nobody's going to repeat in the NFL these days, right? It sure looked like the Chiefs had it all set up. I mean, look at it, all set up. They could just turn it on and when they want to, and you get the feeling now people aren't going to repeat. I don't know how many times I'm going to make this mistake. I just said it here again. I said, this is Tom Brady's last Super Bowl, okay? This is it. Did I just make a big mistake? I never learned that lesson. Would any of you guys think Tom Brady's going to win again? I mean, is there anybody out there in their, reasonable mind today after 7 titles, 43 years old, an improbable run on the road through the playoffs? We think Tom Brady's going to win again, and then we all of a sudden, maybe you just take a step back and say, well, now he's got a second year of the system. Maybe they add a couple of guys, longer off-season training, good position to be in. The Saints are going to take a step back. It sure appears that way, right? There's nobody really in that division to be that scared of, so maybe it just isn't such a wild thought that Tom Brady could win again? That's crazy. Don't be crazy. Bob Glauber's on the way. Super Bowl reaction from a top NFL columnist. Some objective reaction. Who should be the favorite next year? Who should be the favorite next year? Bob Glauber from New York's Newsday on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door, plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Farm 348-0464.
Have you suffered an injury, or maybe you're experiencing pain that just won't get better? There's an expert team of physicians right here in Rapid City ready to help you get back in the game. The Rehab Doctors. They're the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush, and they're the team that wants to help you get back on track. You have a choice for your medical care, and there's no referral necessary. For pain relief without surgery, take the first step to feeling better. Just go to therehabdoctors.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a Monday. Super Bowl reaction and more live from Tampa Bay. We just went there. We're going to go to Kansas City tonight, so we'll get reaction on the ground. That's the good stuff. Some raw reaction from the winners, from the losing side. Also want a guy that one of the top NFL columnists in the country. Has been covering the league a long time. New York's Newsday NFL columnist Bob Glauber. He joins us on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Bob, I hope you're doing well. How are you?
Everything is good, Nate. Thanks for having me. By the way, you having Cody Tapp later?
I am.
Well, tell him I said hello.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. Tell him hello and I'm sorry.
All right. All right, I will. He was wound up this morning, as you might expect. I want to ask you about this. My question of the day, so I'll ask you right away, Bob, is my question of the day. Everybody jumps on this, whether it was Russell Wilson, whoever it may be, and now it was Mahomes. Well, how many titles is this guy going to win? It's just going to be an unbelievable number of titles. I say, how many more Super Bowl wins is Patrick Mahomes going to get? I put it here, 2, 3, or 3+. That's my question of the day. What would your answer be?
I'd say my answer would be 3. I'm not one of those who says, this is going to be a team that's going to win 5 titles and approximate the New England Patriots of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I just don't see it, partly because it's really freaking hard to win a Super Bowl, right? We saw it. And the AFC is so loaded and has so many good quarterbacks in it that I think there will be, it's not going to be a changing of the guard, but it's going to be a knock-em, sock-em, it's going to be a real dogfight with a lot of teams that are very good. So it's just not like Tom Brady's AFC was with the Patriots. It was like New England and everybody else for a number of years. It's going to be tough, so I'll put it at 3.
Great point. I pointed that out as I opened the show. I said the Patriots controlled the AFC East. They got home field nearly every year. I mean, they just won the division constantly, ran through the division, got to numerous Super Bowls. I said, I don't see that either. And I point this out. If Mahomes didn't win, San Francisco game was dicey. They pulled it out. Yesterday, not good. They lose. I don't think it's going to get easier for the Chiefs. I think it's going to get harder, salary cap and whatever.
Yep. The war of attrition in terms of keeping a Super Bowl championship team together is very real. Every team knows it. It's hard to do it. Now, Mahomes is great to be able to build around. He covers up a lot of imperfections. There's just no question. But, bit by bit, they're going to lose key players over time. Now, it's still a really good team, and they're going to be the favorites going into next season. But, man, it wears on you. As a champion, it's so much harder the second time. It was harder for this team this year. They built beautifully. The first couple of years, Mahomes gets on fire. He loses to Brady in the AFC Championship game. Last year, he wins it all. It's like a natural progression. Harder to stay on top, and now still harder once you lose the Super Bowl to get back there. It's a really tough mountain to climb.
Bob Glauber, NFL columnist, New York's Newsday, reacting. He gives Mahomes 3 Super Bowl titles. I'm still hanging on to my original projection, which was 2. That might be it might be interesting. The audience says 3.
Listen, and 4, 3 more is like 4 total, and that equals Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, right?
Yep.
So that's pretty good company.
No, there's no doubt. Let me ask you about Brady. You've covered the league now. I say this is a historical thing. We know this, 7 titles. We've never seen it. I just want to say, how do you describe what we've seen in the world of sports? It has to be one of the biggest stories you've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. And, look, I think people have Brady fatigue, which is kind of normal. You always kind of want the flavor of the month, and it just doesn't happen with this guy because he's that good. And he's really dominated over a 20-year period. It's 20 years, for God's sake, right? So, you always want the next thing, but Brady doesn't let you have it because he's that dominant. It's an incredible feat. I think it's the longest. I think we can easily, safely say that it's the longest collective period of dominance by one athlete that we've ever seen. Bill Russell won 11 championships, but I believe it was over 13 or 14 seasons. Still legendary, and you can't dismiss him as, the greatest winner of all time. But, Brady to do it in this sport, in this era, at this age, is remarkable. And you have to give him his props.
I said this is the last Super Bowl title for Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
I said it is. But
I said that. People, I remember. What did you think before the season? We probably talked about it. Yeah, the Bucs will be much better. They can, get to the wild card. I don't know if they're ready to pass New Orleans yet. Get to the wild card, maybe win a playoff game or two. But that's
right.
Right. And then, Brady was showing some signs of age during his time in New England, but, he got with a better team, he got with better skill position players, and he was able to do it. It's remarkable. That's the only word you can say.
I always talk myself out of it, Bob. I said, well, this is his last title, and then I just had my guy on from Tampa Bay, said, well, what about another year, more off-season work, another year in the system? Maybe he adds a couple of guys instead of subtracts. That division's getting worse. I will say that, right? So maybe Tampa Bay's in good shape.
Oh, I think they're in good shape division-wise because you got to believe that Drew Brees is gone, going to retire, and the Saints will have to take a step back. I think that's their, Atlanta's in a rebuild mode. Carolina is good, not great.
Yeah.
So I think it's their division to take. Maybe they sneak in home field advantage, get a couple of home games for Tom Brady.
Oh, boy.
And off you go. So I think it's very possible.
It's just wild. It's wild.
It is.
If you had to pick somebody, you said the Chiefs are the favorite. I guess there's nobody else you can pick right now on the day after the Super Bowl. But when it comes down to it, what do the Chiefs really need to worry about? You say putting a team around Mahomes is going to get harder. The offensive line, he was missing a couple of guys, and that was the end of the story.
That's it, man, because, next year Mitchell Schwartz will be back, Eric Fisher will be back, your starting tackles, who are Pro Bowl caliber guys, will be back. So, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, Schwartz, I don't know. He's had a back problem since October. Sometimes those things don't go away, and that could be a career-threatening type of situation. But Eric Fisher, is an Achilles injury, and he'll be able to come back from that. Defensively, they're still very strong. I think they could certainly use some depth along the defensive line, help Chris Jones out a little bit. But they're still very, very solid. I mean, this is a 14-2 team, so it's not like you should say, they're going to go downhill. But again, a lot of competition in the conference. Division stronger. I think Los Angeles Chargers will be stronger.
Yeah.
The Raiders, I don't know what the hell they are. They're just not very good. And Denver, they'll give them some problems. But this is still Patrick Mahomes' division to own and to win. But again, across the AFC, it's not going to be easy. Buffalo now has experience, and Josh Allen knows what it takes to win and how much better he's got to get. But he will get better. So there are a few teams around there that can do it. What's that?
Yeah, Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland, sure. I mean, Pittsburgh. I don't know if Roethlisberger's got one more whirl in him. He'll give it a shot. But Baltimore, I don't discount Baltimore. It's just very, very well coached team, and Lamar Jackson's just got to put it together over a more sustained period in the playoffs. He got the taste of a win, but now he's got to take that next step.
Quick hitter with Bob Glauber, New York's Newsday, covering the Jets, okay? Quarterback situation, Sam Darnold. Where's he going to go? Are the Jets going to get somebody? Can they get a Deshaun Watson?
I think they're going to make a run at Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson would like to make it work in New York. The Jets have draft capital with 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years, including the number 2 overall. So if they can swing that deal, they would. If they can't, I think they still probably move on from Sam Darnold. There are going to be a number of teams that are interested in him, from San Francisco to Indianapolis to Chicago to all the usual suspects of quarterback-needy teams. Now, if he's gone and they don't get Deshaun Watson at number 2, I think they take a quarterback. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones.
Okay.
I think that will, and then they'll just kind of build a little bit more patiently than if they had gotten to Deshaun Watson.
Can Sam Darnold get a reinvention of his career somewhere?
I think he can, and I tell you what, lately, Nate, I've been like, do the Jets keep him? Just try to coach him up, and even if they do draft another quarterback, we've seen it before. Do you take a flyer because he's still under his rookie contract, and it's reasonable? And if Mike LaFleur can get something out of him, straighten out his turnover problems, maybe they at least take a gamble on that one. I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibility. Still think they go after Watson hard, but I think Darnold is a viable choice at a number of teams, including the Jets, and I think he can. He's 23 years old,
yeah.
So he's got a ton of time, and he's got a great attitude, great worker. If he straightens out his mechanics, I think he'll be a decent quarterback for a number of years.
New York's Newsday NFL columnist Bob Glauber, Super Bowl reaction and more. Find him on Twitter at Bob Glauber. Always good, man. Thanks for coming on tonight.
You got it, Nate. Take care, man.
Appreciate it. Bob Glauber tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. NFL columnist, New York's Newsday. One of the top guys in the country. He puts the Mahomes Super Bowl titles at 3. At 3. What's the audience reaction here? Let's update the poll. Wow, it's tight. It is a tight vote. If you haven't voted yet, send your vote in here, 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. My question of the day here on a Monday, after yesterday's loss, how many Super Bowl wins will Patrick Mahomes get in his career? How many wins will he get in his career in the Super Bowl? 2, 3, or more than 3? Look at this vote. Look at this vote. 35% of you saying 3 for Mahomes. 33% saying more than 3. 32% saying 2. I think that's the closest vote we've ever had in the on the show when it comes down. A third just broken down the line. 35% say 3. 33% say more than 3. 32% saying 2. I'm going to hold just because my original projection was 2. Vegas set the over-under number for Mahomes last year after he won his first against the Niners. Vegas came out and said the over-under on Mahomes' Super Bowl titles is 2.5. So most of you would go with that 3, so you'd go over. I said under initially. I didn't think they'd go back-to-back. I got lucky yesterday. The Bucs took care of that, and I think it's going to get tougher, not easier, for the Chiefs along the way. Cody Tapp's coming up, 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City, the home of the Chiefs. What's the reaction from KC? I think they're in great shape. They think they're in really good shape in the AFC. We'll get that reaction from Kansas City. First, we'll jump out of the Super Bowl. It's been nonstop coverage. We got to go to this story. Major League Baseball is planning a change with the baseball. With the baseball. What do they want to do? What do they want out of it? We'll talk to Dan Hayes, Major League Baseball writer for The Athletic, on the way.
The Nate Brown Show.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
I got to tell you about Pour 54 in downtown Rapid City. If you haven't been there yet, make plans now. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you, Pour 54 has 3 levels, plenty of space, 54 taps of craft beer, wine, hard seltzer, and hard cider. At Pour 54, you are your own bartender. No more waiting on drinks. You just grab a glass, make your choice, pour from the tap. Oh yeah, the food, out of this world. Get your night started with their pretzel board and then order up one of the awesome Pour 54 Detroit-style pan pizzas. They're unbelievable. If it's date night, after work happy hour, or just watching the big game, Pour 54 is the best place to go. And I know you'll absolutely love it like I do. There's simply no place like it in Rapid City or this region. Pour 54 opens at 3 p.m., located downtown Rapid City at 615 Main Street. You want to experience Pour 54.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live on a Super Bowl reaction Monday, no doubt. Your sports, your show. We've got you covered locally, regionally, nationally. We're jumping down to Kansas City on the way. We'll talk to Cody Tapp. He's with 610 Sports Radio, Kansas City, home of the Chiefs. Cody Tapp, longtime host in KC. What's the reaction from Kansas City today? My question of the day is asking you, how many Super Bowl titles will Patrick Mahomes win ultimately? Tough loss yesterday for the Chiefs, right? Tough loss. So no back-to-back titles. How many will he win? 2, 3, or more than 3? Where's your vote today? It's really tight with the audience. Really tight. Send it in 720-1067, the Barron's Wilson text line. All the Super Bowl talk, and I know we got to jump out just for a minute or two. Major League Baseball. Yes, Major League Baseball talk. I want to get into some stuff here. There's a headline out today from The Athletic. Also, some interesting stuff with the Twins. Major League Baseball writer covers the Twins for The Athletic. It's Dan Hayes joining us on Fox Sports Rapid City. Dan, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I appreciate it. So we'll start with, before I get to the story from national writer for The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal, I'll get to that. I want to start with the Twins, just the offseason moves. I guess maybe a couple of the biggest headlines. Is it Nelson Cruz coming back? Is it adding Colomé, the closer from the White Sox? Are those two of the grabbers?
I think they are, but I love the Andrelton Simmons sign-in also because that really does a lot for the Twins' infield defense. They're going to sign a 4-time Gold Glover, put him at shortstop, and move Jorge Polanco to second base. And Polanco was a solid defender at short. He was never going to be great. He was an all-star in 2019, but that was as much to do with his hitting as it was more than his glove. And so when you do this and you put a 4-time Gold Glover, you drastically change the defense around. They're about projecting internally about 1.5 to 2.5 wins above replacement better with their infield defense than they were before. So it's a pretty drastic move. Obviously, adding a guy like Nelson Cruz, who can be a 4-WAR player, is a huge sign. So that's the most impact they were going to find in any player not named Trevor Bauer. And so that was a huge sign-in for them. And getting Alex Colomé to round out the bullpen was huge, too, because they'd lost 4 guys. But I really think that the Andrelton Simmons move shores up that infield defense a ton, and I like that a lot.
Okay. Twins making a few headlines there in Major League Baseball. Here's the headline from Ken Rosenthal, national writer for The Athletic, that Major League Baseball issued a memo outlining some changes to deaden the ball. Deaden the ball. What's Major League Baseball want here? It's been the last few years a conspiracy. Did they loosen things up because we have all these homers? Where are we trying to land here?
It's a great question because the game needs, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know how we can be so pitching dominant as the game is already. I mean, it's hard to hit the ball right now. It's home run or strikeout. We've seen a ton of that. So I don't get why they try to skew it more towards the pitchers. It's already pretty good for the pitchers as it is. I'm kind of baffled by it. I get it. There are a ton of home runs. The Twins were huge beneficiaries of that in 2019. They set the record with 307 home runs, the most ever by any team in a single season. And when you think about some of those Twins teams in the 80s, 90s, the light-hitting bunches that they've had over the years, it's astounding to think that the Twins are the record holders. But at the same time, home runs are pretty exciting, and teams are built. The Twins are built to basically catch the ball, pitch it, and hit home runs. They're not a team that's going to do what they used to do, which, pitch the contact or, try to put the ball in play, hit the other way. Maybe we need to see the game go back towards that. Maybe that's what baseball is driving everybody to do. But to spring it on the league right before spring training, to not really have time to kind of put this in play and think about it with the off season, it just seems like another misstep by the league.
Dan Hayes, Major League Baseball writer, covers the Twins for The Athletic on Fox Sports Rapid City tonight. That report is saying, okay, so what that report's saying is we had too many homers. I guess, who are they fighting with that? You just said it. There was record home runs. Fans want home runs. I mean, who are they trying to make happy here?
I know Justin Verlander has been outspoken about the home runs, and to the fact that to the point where the league stepped in a couple of years ago and said, "Hey, look, we understand some of your points are valid, but let's back off this." And Verlander has since backed off of it, but it's clear that pitchers are the guys who are going to benefit from this. And it's just strange because home runs are popular, and I don't know, it's hard to see this doing anything for the game unless teams revert, unless teams go back to emphasizing speed and hit and runs and things that they just haven't been doing for the longest time. And I get that can be a very exciting product. That's you don't have an argument for me on that. It's just the game has gone so far away from that. You think about the days where guys stole 100 bases and how rare that is now.
Yeah.
We're a long ways away from that game. And if this is meant to drive it that way, okay, that's fine. But I just, it doesn't seem, it's hard to see baseball saying that without coming out and saying it. I would like them to actually kind of clarify where they'd like the game to go. And, we're just not seeing that kind of voice with things. It's just another tough spot that baseball puts itself in. It's had its labor issues the last year with COVID, changing rules all the time. There's a chance with the health and safety, the plan for that's coming out that baseball, it sounds like, will do 7-inning doubleheaders again next year. There was a report earlier that suggested that 7-inning doubleheaders and the universal DH will not be instituted this year, but also that the league was going to, oh man, it's slipping my mind right now, but I'm sorry, they're going to start the runner on second base in extra innings too. So it just seems like baseball is all over the map and trying to find its legs, and it's difficult to see. I don't know. It's a weird period for baseball, and next year the new CBA has to be negotiated, so it's kind of a tough time right now for baseball, and I can understand if fans are disappointed.
I said that. I said, everybody's arguing in baseball. I know the collective bargaining agreement, that's a big thing. That's coming up. The players are arguing. Labor's arguing with owners. Fans don't want to see that. I mean, that's the backdoor stuff you don't want to see. You hopefully try and take care of it. Baseball doesn't seem like they can because one group releases this, the other group releases that. By the way, Korea Baseball Organization, they made their ball heavier in 2019. 33% decrease in home runs. I don't think that's good either, because then you're going to have less home runs. You still might have as many strikeouts. We'll see where this goes if Major League Baseball is going to make the ball. The plan is to deaden the ball the way Rawlings makes the ball. Dan Hayes, before I let you run, how about this? Record-setting contract. Trevor Bauer, the highest-paid baseball player, will be Trevor Bauer. He goes to the Dodgers. I don't get that. Maybe I'm missing it. I know pitching's a premium. The Dodgers can just spend. How are teams going to be able to compete when you can make Trevor Bauer the highest paid player?
Yeah, it has been sort of the top of the market has done well for itself this year, and we didn't see the kind of deals I think we thought we were going to see with really anybody in free agency. Yeah, but the thing I like about it for the Dodgers is they didn't want to go super long term with Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
He can opt out after 2 years, and they're paying him for what he's worth. And it's absurd. It's crazy to think somebody's worth $85 million over 2 years. But his stats do, when he is really good, his stats back that up. And obviously, he's been a little bit hit and miss. But he definitely is a beneficiary of Garrett Cole's contract, and they opted to go for the average annual value in this versus a longer-term deal like that. And it's clear what the goal was, and Bauer can, get back to being a free agent even after next year if he wants to. But I'm guessing with $85 million that he'll wait until after year 2 to go back to the negotiating table. I don't think he's going to find that.
Some quick bang for the buck. I mean, you think they're going to get some quick bang for that buck?
Absolutely, and it's a great position to be in if you're the Dodgers. You're coming off a World Series. You have a lot of young, affordable players. Their core still hasn't kind of hit the expensive period yet, and obviously they have a lot of stars there, with Kershaw, and they're maybe hoping to bring Justin Turner back, Kenley Jansen. There are guys that make a lot of money there, but there are also just as many who are on the more affordable side. Cody Bellinger and those guys haven't reached their peak earning potential yet. So when you can home grow talent, and that's what the Twins have tried to do, you can go out and splurge. Now, the Twins can't splurge like the Dodgers can, but, man, it's sort of the way that teams do well. It's what the Yankees' key to their success was in the late 90s and early 2000s. All those guys were homegrown. Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams. You look at that group, Pettit and Jorge Posada. It was a very affordable time, and then you can go out and drop $50 million on a pitcher and bring him in. And
I'll tell you,
the Dodgers are in a good spot.
Dodgers making Trevor Bauer the highest paid annual player in baseball. $40 million the first year, $45 million the second year. Bauer goes to the Dodgers on a short-term deal. Dan Hayes getting set sometime here. Baseball, I know it's February. Pitchers, catchers reporting soon, and we'll see where this baseball story goes. Deadening the ball. Dan Hayes, Major League Baseball writer, covers the Twins. The Athletic on Twitter at Dan Hayes MLB. Follow him, Twins fans, as they get set. Dan, always great. I appreciate you.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, Nate.
You bet. Dan Hayes on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Covers the Twins for The Athletic, Major League Baseball writer on Twitter at Dan Hayes MLB. You can follow him there. So you tell me, little baseball talk on this Super Bowl Monday. We're going to get back to the Super Bowl. We've been hot and heavy on it. Hot and heavy. We're going to get back to the Super Bowl discussion. Cody Tapp on tap. See how I did that? Cody Tapp on the way. He's with 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City, the home of the Chiefs. What's the reaction from KC? We got reaction from Tampa Bay earlier in the show. If you missed that, remember, you can always catch the podcast readily available, foxsportsrapidcity.com. You can hear the podcast anytime we upload the show there. We got Tampa Bay reaction on the winning side. We'll get Kansas City reaction up here in the Drive at 5. But that got my attention. Major League Baseball trying to tweak the ball again. Some people thought they tweaked it to make more home runs. Well, they had record home runs in 2019, okay? Record-setting home runs in 2019. A huge number in 2017. Now they went down a little bit in 2020, just a touch, but not much. So the ball's been flying out. Major League Baseball would say it's how the hitters are hitting, not the ball. But now this memo goes out. We're going to deaden the ball a little bit. I'm okay with home runs. I do want a little more small ball. I do want a little more runners in motion, some more action of the game. I'd rather not have strikeout or home run. I'd rather not have that. That's kind of the way things have been going. What's going to happen now with Major League Baseball? Trying to tweak the ball a little bit. Korea Baseball did this. Made the ball heavier. 33% decrease in home runs in 1 year. You don't want that either. I don't want to be hitting a medicine ball. Coming right back with this, okay? Couple of headlines. We're going to get into our question of the day again. Get your reaction today here on the Nate Brown Show. But this just came out. Sportsbook unveiled the NFL coach most likely to get fired after next season. This just came out. This is the guy who's most likely to get fired, the highest odds for him to get fired after this next season. And if you listen to this show, it's some guy that's very close to my heart. Some guy that's very close to my heart. I don't love what I'm seeing with the Vegas odds today. And by the way, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to pick the winner, the way too early Super Bowl winner of next year's Super Bowl. We did this the day after the Super Bowl. Last year, I was wrong. Okay, we'll see how right or wrong I am. I've got my winner of the 2022 Super Bowl. Okay, I've got my winner next.
You're your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rush Hockey is back in Rapid City. On Wednesday, February 10th and Friday, February 12th, the Rush take on the Tulsa Oilers at 7:05, sponsored by Fleet Farm. On Saturday, February 13th, the Rush hosts Decades Night, sponsored by Vast Broadband. Decades from the 1960s through present day will be represented through fun games, great music, and other interactive activities throughout the night. We encourage all fans to dress in their favorite Decades attire. The rink will be divided into sections based on decade, and everyone will be eligible to win special prizes throughout the night. Tickets are on sale at RapidCityRush.com.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Everything for the great outdoors is at the Black Hills Sports Show and Outdoor Expo, February 12th to the 14th at the Civic Center in Rapid City. Over 100 dealers and vendors, plus many other fun activities, including the Big Buck and Bull Contest, Ladies Lane, kids activities, and on Saturday night, we host the South Dakota Youth Hunting Adventures live and silent auction. ATVs, boats, RVs, and all the hunting and fishing gear you need in one place. The wild awaits at the Black Hills Sports Show and Outdoor Expo, February 12th to the 14th. Visit BHSportsShow.com for more information.
If you're single, a young couple just starting out, or an empty nester, regular size loaves of bread just may be too much of a good thing. Now, thanks to Village Hearth Half Loaves, you can have just the right amount of fresh, delicious bread for toast and your favorite sandwiches. Village Hearth Half Loaves come in 5 flavorful varieties, including Dakota-style 12-grain, honey wheat, and premium white. You're sure to find the one that's just right. Village Hearth Half Loaves, the perfect size for 1 or 2.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
Welcome back in on a Monday. How you doing? Hopefully good. It's always a great day in the Black Hills, even with temperatures in the single digits and getting colder this week. We'll try and heat things up here. It's not a hot take show, but we'll have some thought-provoking sports talk as we kick off the week. And exciting matchup in high school basketball tomorrow night. So I'm going to have 1 hour of this show tomorrow. If you don't catch the first hour, join me tomorrow 4 to 5. And then I'm on my way to St. Thomas More for the showdown, AA against Class A. Girls basketball will have the radio exclusive Fox Sports Rapid City with Stevens girls against number 1 undefeated St. Thomas More tomorrow at 7 with the tip-off. Here tonight, go down to Kansas City next. Cody Tapp on the way. Home of the Chiefs is 610 Sports Radio. Tough reaction from KC. We'll get it. How many titles can Mahomes win? I think these guys think it's going to be a run still coming up. A long run for Mahomes. That's my question of the day. Cody Tapp on the way. 610 Sports Radio. KC, he's on the way next. That is my question of the day. So let's get to the answers from you. How many more Super Bowl titles will Patrick Mahomes win? How many more Super Bowl titles will Patrick Mahomes win? 2, 3, or more than 3? Okay? I should say how many total. That's what I'm looking at. How many total? 2, 3, or more than 3? Question of the day on Fox Sports Rapid City. Some answers. More than 3, there's no doubt. Stick a pin in this. It's guaranteed. Could have put the number over 5, and I still would bet the over. Wow. I'm not going to go there. Here's another one. Over 3. Here's one on the other end. I think he's already done with Super Bowl wins. It's going to stay at 1. Here's one. 2. Mahomes will win 2. There's too many stars. They can't pay them all. He's talented, but has a loaded team right now. But the NFL is getting loose. He will lose some weapons. He'll win 1 more. I'll put the number at a total of 2. It's hard to get to a Super Bowl, let alone win it. Look at my Packers. Both Favre and Rodgers only have 1. And that is right. You think about it. We said this about Rodgers. Look how it's going to be an easy run. He's been close. Can't get it. We said it about Russell Wilson, top 3 quarterback. Russell Wilson got to a couple with the Seahawks pretty early. Here come the Seahawks. He's only at 1 still. Seahawks seem like they're a ways away. Playoff team, good. That's where the Chiefs are. Good playoff team. Mahomes is going to get them there. It's going to get harder. I think these last 2 years, this was the run, and it's going to get harder, I think. So who do I pick? I'm gonna pick the number 2. I think Mahomes wins 2 Super Bowl titles. Some people would say that's way off, Nate. That's the Broncos fan in you talking. That's way off. Just 2? I think it is. I think the window was really tight, and the window is now. Next year could be really interesting, and I think you start getting after that salary cap situation. I think it's going to get harder. The Chargers are going to get better. My Broncos eventually are going to get better. So I'll hold at at 2 for Mahomes, the titles. The audience is really split. I mean, really split. 34% of you say 3 Super Bowl titles for Mahomes. 34% of you say 3. 33% say 2. 33% say more than 3. Wow. Tough split. So let me make my pick for next year's Super Bowl title. I did this last year, the way too early prediction. There still can be some QB movement, so this is tough to do today. We're doing it for kicks. I'm just already looking at a team that already has their quarterbacks. They've got their offense solidified for the most part. They needed a guy that will just take them to the next level. I think this guy will. I think the scheme is there. I think they get back there. They're not too far removed. And I think the Super Bowl champion next year is the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Aaron Donald, a great running back. They've got the tools now. Is Stafford going to be that big of an addition on Goff? I think big enough. If I have to take a flyer today, I'll go Rams to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs, I don't know if they'll get back. They might get back. I don't think they're going to make another dynasty run here as we saw with the Patriots. I just don't think you're going to see it. It's getting too tough. A flyer on the Rams today for me. I'll go Rams. Stafford makes the difference. And I will say, the Buccaneers are going to be in good shape. I never thought I would sit here and say, this is nuts. Tom Brady, 7 titles, 43 years old. That's it. Okay, that's it, right? I said it at the beginning of the show. That's it. And then you talk yourself into, look at that division. They aren't going to lose that division. Saints are going to lose Breeze. Saints are going to take a step back. Panthers, nah. Falcons, nah. Buccaneers win the division. Buccaneers have a great run. Their schedule will be a challenge now outside of the division. Super Bowl champs, right? The schedule's going to be a little tough. Can they get home field? I don't know if they'll get the number 1 seed. Can they get in good shape? Buccaneers might be closer than we all think. Last one on this. Who's going to have the worst year? This is a sad day today, Monday, okay? I'm supposed to be kind of excited that the Chiefs lost as a Broncos fan, right? I wasn't rooting for the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Chiefs fans. I can't do that. You wouldn't do that. When we had our Super Bowl runs as a Chiefs fan, you weren't rooting for us. Be realistic here. It's all in good fun. You should take joy in this. This is a sad day for me. Vegas Sportsbook released who is the highest odds for the coach to be fired. Who has the highest odds for the coach to be fired? This is the odds. The sportsbook currently has Vic Fangio as the NFL coach most likely to get canned next year. How about that, Broncos country? We just got thrown into this mix. The coach likely to get canned in 2021, the highest odds, Broncos head coach Vic Fangio. George Payton, the new GM, right? His choice at quarterback is going to have a lot to do with Vic Fangio's future. And if you're a betting man, Vic Fangio, the highest odds of getting canned. How about that on a Monday Super Bowl reaction for the Broncos, who haven't even been to the playoffs in a long time? That 5-year Super Bowl seems a while ago. Here's this guy. He's up next. Cody Tapp 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City, the home of the Chiefs. What's the reaction in Kansas City? Tough go, but I think they're in really good shape moving forward. Cody Tapp is on the way next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door, plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Continues until 11 a.m. tomorrow. Cloudy skies tonight with a chance for snow. Lows of around 8 below. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. High of 8 above. Chance of snow tomorrow night 7 below. About an inch of snow tomorrow night through Wednesday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now 2 below.
Melty, cheesy, white cheddar goodness came in dripping with just the right amount of jalapeno heat.
Where my peppers at? Oh yeah, right here in the queso.
Our Queso Blanco remixes anything, like the Boss Burrito for only $6.
Remix!
Download our app for exclusive deals at Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
Never enough queso.
Meet the Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda sales team. They are 5-star rated, just like Honda, and ready to serve you today. Our knowledgeable team will help you get into the perfect Honda model that fits your needs and budget. But we don't stop there. After your purchase, you will be taken care of by our Honda certified technicians who will keep your vehicle running and you safe on the road. Going into 2021, we want to thank you for your business this past year. We know that your vehicle is essential to you, and we will continue our commitment to be open and ready to serve you. From all of us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda, thank you and keep safe.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
We're back. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, live, local. The biggest sports newsmakers across the country. Super Bowl reaction on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. If you missed parts of the show, the podcast always ready. Apple Podcasts. You can find us there wherever you get your podcasts. Also, iHeart app. You can find the Nate Brown Show podcast on the iHeart app. Remember, FoxSportsRapidCity.com for the archives as well. We go back about a week. We had a great week last week. Some Super Bowl champions coming on to preview the Super Bowl. Just stunned me yesterday. I mean, I was stunned. I picked Kansas City to win. This is Broncos country, okay? So I got to remind everybody, I can't be sitting here touting the Chiefs all the time, but I picked the Chiefs to win because I just thought they would. Just too much to handle, and I was stunned. What's the reaction in Kansas City? These guys are the home of the Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio. Is a great show. It's Cody Tapp. He joins us live. Find him on Twitter at Cody B. Tapp. Cody's here on the Nate Brown Show live from Kansas City. Cody, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Or I'm doing about as well as I can. Let's put it that way.
I believe that. Well, I'm doing good, man. I wanted to get you on and just find out here in Kansas City. I get the feeling here that, okay, Chiefs fans are stunned. You had to be stunned yesterday. But I get the feeling the reaction is, we're fine. Am I right or wrong on that?
There's some fans that are feeling that way, certainly, and I think that way as a whole. Obviously, it takes some time to kind of just accept the fact that you just fell short in the Super Bowl, fell short of back-to-back Super Bowls and all the conversations that you hope to get to have, like dynasty and the things that, we were kind of ramping up for the possibility of in Kansas City. But I also think, and one of the things we certainly talk about on the show, there's a lot of fans that realize, name another franchise that you would rather have right now. Like you could reassign your fandom and, or just flip situations with anybody. And I don't think Kansas City would do that. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Brett Veach, and the talent they have on that roster with Kelsey and Hill, Jones, and et cetera. I think they're still in as good a position as anybody in the NFL. They just came up short in one game and got blown out for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career.
Okay, you kind of laid it out. I started the show with this. It kind of reminds me of Russell Wilson, Seahawks. Just kind of. Great quarterback, top 3 talent. Seahawks were coming on strong, gets to a couple of Super Bowls, wins one, loses one, and now it feels like they're a little ways off. They're competitive. They're good. I don't know if the Seahawks are going to go on a run. It kind of reminds me of that. Why is that wrong?
No, well, partially because at the time the Seahawks did it, it was a very young Russell Wilson, and it was a defensively driven team. Now, while Patrick Mahomes' cap number is going to start going up, it goes up a little bit next year, not a ton. It goes up way in a couple of years from now. So that was a problem the Seahawks faced. So you're right in that regard. But wrong in the sense that, when that was going through with Russell Wilson, he wasn't the Russell Wilson we know now. He was a very good quarterback, but he was limited, or at least limited inside that offense, versus the way Patrick Mahomes plays now. It's just not the case. And they're not driven by the part of the unit that they're not going to be able to keep together. Defense is kind of fleeting in the NFL. You can have an elite defense, but it's only good for a couple of years before you have to change those things. And Denver probably knows that as good as anybody. A great defense maybe has a 3-year run, and that's all we're talking about. Great quarterbacks have 10 or 15-year runs. So we're hopeful because they're an offensively driven team. That's not the case, but look, you could be proven right if the Chiefs don't keep going back to Super Bowls here over the next few years.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we all know that. Cody Tapp's been in the game. 610 Sports Radio, home of the Chiefs. Reaction from Kansas City here on the Nate Brown Show. So I'll ask you about yesterday. The tackles were a problem. Mahomes didn't look like himself because of the pressures. He's getting pressured an unbelievable amount of time in his dropbacks. And so I look at it, I say, you got to get the tackles back. Otherwise, there may be a problem.
Yeah. And I think at least one of them have got to come back, but that's going to be problem one in the NFL draft. But how good of a tackle can you get at 31? Well, that varies. I mean, and you're running a bit of a risk. They took a tackle, or a guy they thought they could eventually play tackle in the NFL in the 3rd round last year, but he opted out before the season in Lucas Niang. So they were optimistic about him, but didn't play all season. I think Fisher's going to come back. The question is how quickly can he come back from the Achilles? But we've never gotten any clear sign about how serious Mitchell Schwartz's back injury is, other than the fact he's been out since he took 8 snaps in Week 6, and we never heard his name ever again. Anytime we bring him up, Andy just says it's backs and they're fickle and we'll see. So, like Schwartz, I'd just be afraid going forward because of the injury. And Eric Fisher's only under contract for 1 year. So anything we talk about with bringing the tackles back next year is a short-term solution. They're going to have to seriously address it in the draft.
Really interesting. Cody Tapp joins us, 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City, doing a good hit here on Fox Sports Rapid City, talking Chiefs. I just picked my way too early Super Bowl winner. I just took a flyer. I go with the Rams. If you had to pick, you would lean Chiefs, but who else?
Yeah, I would certainly lean Chiefs. There's no doubt about that. On the NFC side, I just think the AFC is a better conference, but they have to go through Mahomes. I still think the Bills will be the second-best team in the AFC next year. But I think it's more likely you would get a team that snuck through on the NFC side. Rams aren't a bad choice because they're definitely better with Stafford, but something tells me that the 49ers still get their quarterback this year.
Yeah.
That team is still continuously underrated. Their roster is one of the better ones in the NFL. And I don't think Shanahan's going to let Garoppolo be his quarterback next year. I don't think they're going to get fully in on the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. I'm sure they'd love to. But I think no matter what, they're going to upgrade that position, and I think they're kind of the sleeper pick on that NFC side.
I like that because I said, well, it's kind of early to do this, Cody, because there's so much quarterback movement still to come, potentially. I said the 49ers might be there. I'll go Rams. They've got things solidified right now. So I'll ask you this. Who is the challenge in the AFC West? It has to be the Chargers. Are they going to be a challenge sooner than later?
I guess it depends on their defense, and it is the Chargers versus the other two, even though the Raiders have been better competition overall. The only thing that really holds me back from saying the Chargers for sure is they just chose a defensive-minded coach for their young star quarterback, and I can't fully understand that. And that defensive-minded coach has talked about how they need to get back to running the ball. Hate that. And then, so like, I already don't like some of the decisions they're making. And like we talked about with defensive eliteness, they have some elite defenders on defense. Probably now what should be the prime of that defense. But will they get those two things lined up? Will the prime of that defense line up with the best they can get out of Herbert? It is the Chargers. I wouldn't put the Raiders terribly far behind, only because they're established, but that's a lot depending on if Derek Carr even comes back there next year.
And you put the Broncos nowhere to be found, Cody. You're killing me.
I know. Look, I would choose the Broncos, but they're in flux. You know that.
Right.
They're not even sure they want Drew Lock to be their quarterback.
We don't, by the way. I'm just making that official today.
I came into the season actually thinking, I think before this season started, I called them the second-best team in the division. Now, I didn't realize Justin Herbert was going to be a star. So that took away from some of that. But coming into the year because of Fant and Sutton, like, I love the weapons. But it's if you're going to have like 8 Ferraris on offense, but a Pinto driving it, or me, right? It's not going to do you any good.
No, I
can't drive a Ferrari. Like, you need a race car driver if you're going to have the pieces.
That's where I'm at.
That's the problem.
That's where I'm at. I said, if you don't get a different quarterback and you're battling the Chiefs and battling Herbert and the Chargers every year, what are you really doing? What are you really doing? And that's where I'm at with the Broncos. Quick one on this. This is a tough one. I just got the feeling that the Chiefs kind of, we can turn it on. And, I mean, we turned it on heavy here in the playoffs. We can turn it on when we need to. I felt like they thought that yesterday. Was there any thought to, the Chiefs kind of thought they were going to win? Was that a problem?
I would have thought so, but I feel like it would have shown up before, because that was kind of the thought going into the playoffs. And they didn't have any trouble with the Browns. That game got close late only because Mahomes got knocked out. And they completely handled the Bills. I think by that time they had already turned it on. More than I think the idea that they just thought they were going to win. I think, it was what we ended up were the most concerned about going into the game, which was the offensive line versus the defensive line and the mismatch that was. So I don't think they got too comfortable. I never really got that sense during the year anyway. I think sometimes they played down to their competition, but it was the Super Bowl. So, I have a hard time saying that was the bigger reason rather than just simply being beaten, playing poorly, and getting dominated at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. That's how it played out yesterday. I was stunned by it, but the O-line had some backups, had some guys move around. Mahomes was on the run 48 out of 52 times. Cody Tapp, 610 Sports Radio, Kansas City. It's the home of the Chiefs. Lucky to get him today with good reaction. Cody, always appreciate it. Thanks for coming on tonight.
No problem. Thanks, Nate.
Appreciate it. Cody Tapp on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City, 610 Sports Radio in KC. Good stuff. They cover the Chiefs, carried every game. Find them on Twitter at Cody B. Tapp for you Chiefs fans. I'm going to jump out of a story that is a tough one. This is a tough one, okay, about the Super Bowl yesterday, okay? This is a tough one. My reaction to it is people think this should have been discussed. People think this should have been exposed. People think this had a major impact and should have been thrown out all the time. And now people think the Chiefs should do something about it. I don't know if I think any of those things are totally accurate. The toughest story of the day yesterday and what should have been done. That's on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door, plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Minimize the stress on your joints to get you moving better and feeling stronger. They also perform dry needling to reduce muscle tension and improve pain control. And their innovative Sports Metrics program helps athletes accelerate recovery time to get you back in the game at maximum performance. If you want to get back in the action, check out High Plains Physical Therapy Associates in their same location since opening at 614 East Boulevard in Rapid City. High Plains Physical Therapy Associates, where a pain-free day is dawning.
Black Hills Community Bank wants you to know that now may be the best time to refinance, purchase, or even build a brand new home. With rates this low, Black Hills Community Bank is well positioned to be your local partner. They are your home loans bank with local originators underwriting, processing, and closings. They challenge themselves to close every loan on time. This may be the time to think about home ownership or refinancing with Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish. Online at bhcbank.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a Monday. Congrats to the Buccaneers, the Super Bowl champs. Tom Brady, an unbelievable, historical championship. I mean, it's just unbelievable. 7 titles. You cannot be a Brady fan. I mean, I haven't been rooting for Brady at all in my life. I've been a Broncos fan. We've had our battles in the AFC Championship, the whole thing. I've not been a Patriots fan, okay? We know this. But it's just an unbelievable accomplishment. I never thought we'd see that yesterday. Not that Brady was unreal. It's just how he led the team. The defensive effort was unreal. That's what people, I think, are overlooking. But the 7 titles, 43 years old, the 10 Super Bowl appearances, I mean, the edge, the competitiveness, I love that. I love the competitiveness, the work, the time, it's just unreal. So the respect is there. For Tom Brady, who's now into that best athlete of all time, right? I mean, he's the greatest of all time quarterback-wise, NFL player-wise, greatest athlete of all time for his career. Buccaneers fans rolling today. We have a few of them here on the show. We have a few of them. One of our top Buccaneers fans said it's the best day of his life. Said it was the best day of his life yesterday. What a great run. Let's get into a story that was the toughest story of the day, and you didn't hear much about it. And I'm in this spot now where I'm saying, okay, as a media guy, I choose what I talk about on broadcast. I've done high school, college. I've had the chance to do some pro games, okay, in Washington, D.C. back in the day when I worked back there. There's decisions you make when you research the game, when you prep the game, what you're going to discuss, some great stories with the players, great stories behind. Great broadcasters look at not just the game, but the story behind the game. So everybody is talking about the tough story yesterday that wasn't talked about by Jim Nantz enough, was Andy Reid's son, who was in a bad accident. There's an investigation going on right now. What happened? And a 5-year-old girl, little kids, hurt terribly. A 5-year-old girl in a coma right now, fighting for her life. It's a terrible story. And the reaction yesterday when Jim Nantz mentioned it with, I think, about 4 minutes left in the game, it was a blowout game. He mentioned it. Thoughts and prayers out to that family. It's a bad situation. And then the media is asking Andy Reid about it today. They did it last night. They did it today. I get the questions that are asked. I don't get why people say that should have been discussed more, people say it was such a negative thing that Jim Nantz didn't talk about that, and Andy Reid's son, Britt Reid, and the problem and the whole thing. I think that was outside of the game. I don't know how much of an effect on the game it had. I don't love having to get into that conversation, especially when we don't know all of the details. It doesn't look great. The allegations, not good. The investigation's going to go here. Britt Reid could have a problem. It's a really sad deal for that family, especially a 5-year-old kid. Let me tell you, Britt Reid, allegedly, he admitted having 2 to 3 drinks, but now the toxicology results, they aren't back yet within the legal system. That's where I think those stories need to develop. We always like jumping to conclusions and then to say, oh, Britt Reid this and Britt Reid that and Andy Reid, and how did it affect this and how did it affect that? It's not anything you can just push aside because it's a terrible thing. I don't want to have that as a focus of the pregame, a focus of the game, any more than it was. It's a really bad story outside of the game for people's lives. I don't think it's how did the Super Bowl go because of this? And I have to say this about that. This is a story that now is getting traction, and here's a headline from Yahoo Sports, if you don't know what I'm talking about today, how everybody wants to, now here's the headline. Thoughts and prayers aren't enough from the Chiefs right now. What do you want these guys to do? I mean, I'm just trying to be objective here tonight. That's the headline. And then there was a story written that the Hunts, who own the Chiefs, the Hunts are worth an estimated $15 billion. They can afford to do the decent thing here. The question is, do they recognize the decent thing? And that's where I'm sitting here saying, let's just take a step back. Let's let the legal system work a little bit. Let's let some results come back and find out the story. We know the result is a bad one. The results, what's happened right now, is a bad one. I want to make sure we have everything buttoned up. This day and age, 2021, it's instant reaction, social media, and people complaining about this, complaining about that. Jim Nantz didn't talk about it enough. The Chiefs aren't doing enough. And here's what the final result should be right now. Let's hold off. Terrible story, tough story. I don't think it needed to be a part of the total Super Bowl story. We need to find out what the real story is first. It's not good. It doesn't look good. We're coming back here on the Nate Brown Show tonight with our who's hot and who's not. I do want to get into this. I do want to get into who's hot and who's not. So I told you my pick for next year's Super Bowl. Just took a flyer. I said the Rams. Okay? They have defense good. Running back solid, so running game good. Can Stafford elevate the passing game? Sean McVay, they aren't too far removed from a Super Bowl appearance. So I go a flyer on the Rams. What teams are at the top of the list for Vegas? Well, you can imagine. Chiefs are number one. Chiefs are the highest odds to get back and win the Super Bowl this time. So Chiefs number one. Who else does Vegas thinks is going to win the Super Bowl next year? I've got that number. I've also got a number here that I want to get into when it comes down to it. There are also some teams that are way down on the list. Way down on the list. Where are the Vikes? Where are the Broncos in the odds to win the title? Who's hot and who's not on the way?
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hello, this is Robbie at Bargain Barn Tire Pros. At Bargain Barn Tire Pros, we are what we like to call your one-stop vehicle shop. Some of you don't realize that we're more than just a tire shop. We are a full-service center. We do brakes, shocks, alignments, and we also do exhaust. So if your vehicle is loud or making a squeak, Call the pros at Tire Pros. 1610 Campbell Street, 1811 Deadwood Avenue, or look us up on the web at bargainbarntire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until 11 a.m. tomorrow. Cloudy skies tonight with a chance for snow. Lows of aloft around 8 below. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow, high of 8 above. Chance of snow tomorrow night, 7 below. About an inch of snow tomorrow night through Wednesday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 2 below.
Welcome to Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, the home of the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the area, with new inventory arriving daily. But that's not all. Let me show you. Meet our fast and friendly finance officers, who will take you through the purchase process quickly and who work with a large number of local and national lenders. Here at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on our customer-centric approach, and we strive to provide you, our customer, with a 5-star experience every time. We'll see you soon here at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet in Rapid City.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we believe in happy accidents, like in 1964, when a Buffalo, New York restaurant owner accidentally bought chicken wings instead of chicken necks. The 60s were a crazy time. Well, decades later, and the mistake-turned masterpiece is now at Pizza Ranch. Introducing our new traditional and boneless chicken wings, tossed in our signature sauces. 2 more ways to get the country's best chicken available for carryout and delivery. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all, just delicious fate. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Rush Hockey is back in Rapid City. On Wednesday, February 10th and Friday, February 12th, the Rush take on the Tulsa Oilers at 7:05, sponsored by Fleet Farm. On Saturday, February 13th, the Rush host Decades Night, sponsored by Vast Broadband. Decades from the 1960s through present day will be represented through fun games, great music, and other interactive activities throughout the night. We encourage all fans to dress in their favorite Decades attire. The rink will be divided into sections based on decade, and everyone will be eligible to win special prizes throughout the night. Tickets are on sale at RapidCityRush.com.
Considering buying or selling a timeshare, prices are low and travel may be limited right now. Before wiring or sending money to somebody who is selling or purchasing timeshares, research the company and the information you're being given. Never send money without receiving documentation of the terms and conditions of the offer. If the offer is contingent on you sending money right away, you should stop the transaction immediately and call the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division, 800-300-1986, or email them at consumerhelp@state.sd.us. Don't get scammed.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Profile by Sanford. Profile's more than a weight loss plan. It is a lifestyle plan. As we all lead busy lives, sometimes our eating and nutrition goes out the window. That's where Profile steps in with a personalized nutrition plan and some one-on-one coaching. My coach is a former college athlete who knows nutrition. Now's the time to get healthy and stay healthy. Stop by 715 Omaha Street and talk to the local team at Profile by Sanford. Learn more at profileplan.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, we're set on a Monday. It's been a flyby show, a fun show. We had reaction across the country, in Tampa Bay, in KC. Good stuff tonight. Tomorrow we've got 1 hour of this show, so check in with us 4 to 5 tomorrow. We're going to be on 4 to 5. Then I'm jumping over for the high school basketball matchup of the season in girls basketball. Stevens visiting St. Thomas More. You don't see these games that often. Stevens at St. Thomas More. We'll have it on Fox Sports Rapid City tomorrow night. Play-by-play. I'll have it 7 o'clock. Stevens girls playing really well. Really well. The St. Thomas More girls, number 1 in Class A, undefeated. Just beat Winter in a great win for the Cavalier girls. So it's going to go down tomorrow night. St. Thomas More and Stevens tomorrow at 7 on girls basketball. We'll be back here at 4 for 1 hour of the shindig. Let's get into this. Who's hot and who's not tonight? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. I'm going to tell you this again. Okay, I'm not ashamed to tell you. I had the wings from the Pizza Ranch earlier last week. They first came out here in February, so I had them earlier last week. And then I just put in the order yesterday for the Super Bowl Showdown. I put in so many orders of wings yesterday from the Pizza Ranch. It was unreal. PizzaRanch.com. Carry out, delivery, the new wings, boneless, traditional. Take it from me. They are excellent. I had the teriyaki yesterday, garlic parmesan, the buffalo, the barbecue. Haven't gone with the sweet habanero yet. Not yet. We'll have more chances. You can do it as well. PizzaRanch.com. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Let's jump into this. I've got a couple for you in our Who's Hot category tonight. Just take a look at what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. Yes, they brought in some free agents, the biggest one being Tom Brady, but look at who contributed on the field yesterday, and look at their draft the last 3 years. They drafted Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa last year. Unbelievable this season, not giving up sacks. Tristan Wirfs picked him. Antoine Winfield Jr. Antoine Winfield Jr. in 2019. Look at that pick. Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota. An impact player and the old peace sign to Tyreek Hill. I loved it. You're going to say, you love taunting? Well, he got it from Tyreek earlier in the year, so Antoine gave it back. Devin White, pick number 5. The linebacker who was unreal out of the 2019 draft. Okay, so you had Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs out of 2020. 2019, they got Devin White, Jamel Dean in the secondary, pick number 94. Jamel Dean, a starter, great player. Now to 2018, Vita Vea, defensive tackle, great contributor yesterday. Carlton Davis in the secondary at pick number 63. So you want to talk about draft, look at those players. Wirfs, Winfield Jr. last year, Devin White, Dean in 2019, Vita Vea, Carlton Davis in 2018. They built through defense mostly, and Wirfs, a great offensive lineman. The Buccaneers, they put it together. You take a look at how that worked out, the Tampa Bay draft picks, really, really well. In our Who's Hot category as well, I'm going to go with this. Our guy, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, North Dakota State. Is he going to reinvent his career? What is the top destination? The report today, he could be going by as early as tomorrow. I guess we'll see this if it happens. According to the source, Mike Kay, he's in on this. Mike Kay out of New Jersey says he's got a guy who says Carson Wentz is close with the Bears and maybe the Colts. Coming down to the Bears and the Colts. And he has experience with both coaching staffs. The Bears, the Colts, Frank Reich. Bears or Colts for Carson Wentz. If I'm Carson, I'm loving the Colts situation. Keep an eye on Carson Wentz on the move, it looks like, out of Philly. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, well, I guess I'll start listing out the odds for next year's Super Bowl tonight. Vegas has already done this. MGM has put out the odds for next year's Super Bowl winners. You can get some big paydays if you want to take some risk. Let's start with your Minnesota Vikings coming in at 40-1. What happened here? The Vikings were just 30-1 when these first came out. The Vikings to win next year's Super Bowl, they were at 30-1. Now they're 40-1. So $100 going to win you $4,000 if you want to go with Kirk Cousins and the Vikes. I don't know if Mike Zimmer has that defense shored up yet. They're a little ways away. So are my Denver Broncos. Where's the number? Vegas says the Broncos winning the title, 66-1 odds. And what's sad about it? The Broncos are in at 66-1 with the New York Giants. The New York Football Giants. Who are the worst teams to go to a Super Bowl run next year, according to Vegas in our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category? The absolute worst teams are the Jaguars, 100-1, the Jets, 80-1, the Lions, 80-1, the Bengals, 80-1. Here's one for you. What if Deshaun Watson stays with the Texans? What if? The Texans listed as one of the worst odds tonight, 80-1 odds that the Texans win the Super Bowl. Highest odds, here it is, the Chiefs. The Chiefs holding firm. Chiefs the favorite, Packers second, Buccaneers third. Chiefs the favorite, Packers second, Buccaneers third. Thanks for listening. We're back tomorrow at 4 on the Nate Brown Show. We'll send you to the Odd Couple right after this. See you tomorrow at 4.